It's interesting. I get lots of people ask me about what's involved with a drone survey, and I get given, or get sent, should I say, lots of drone surveys, and the drone pilots just fly drones. They don't know anything about roofing, and this is the problem. We are a roofing or an ex-roofing company. I used to run a roofing company, and all my surveys are, which we use drones to do, are we're using the drone as a tool to be able to show you what's going on. Now, I get lots of drone photography which is like this, which really doesn't help whatsoever. I took this from the drone, but this is because at the end of a report I can highlight what's going on a roof, and I'll show you that picture where it's all marked up with showing you the different elevations on the roof. And it's really, this is why I want to do this video, because the drone survey should involve lots of little details all the way around, and the photography taken really, if you're not a roofer, you don't know what to do and what pictures to take. So let me just take you through these pictures that I've got on this particular roof, and it'll give you an idea. Now, I could run a video for you, but videos, although sometimes I do take videos of roofs, and you can see this particular one here is a video of the roof. It's more done with photographs. So let's just flick through some of the photographs, and just to give you an idea, you can look at this, the amount of photographs that I actually take of a roof. But I've just also got to say, I'll go up here, that on this particular property, because although we'll do a drone survey, we'll also go inside and look around. I was able to go in the loft, I was able to take moisture readings, talk to the potential owners of this property about all the different problems and really where they should go with this roof. This is all part of a drone survey, getting access to the outside, being able to assess the roof from the outside and getting access from the inside where possible. They didn't know whether on this particular job to strip the roof or to save the roof which is out there, and that's why they had brought me in to have a look. So let me just flick through some of these photographs on this, and hopefully I can give you an idea of the kind of thing that I'm seeing, and I'll just generally go through stuff. Now, obviously, you know, this is the picture here of a slate roof. We know that these are natural slates, and when we look at it, the slates themselves are old, but they're not that old. Now, what I see here is quite interesting, because all this lead work is quite new. This lead work has been changed separately from the roof. This is not original with the roof, especially the valley. And you can see now, interesting enough, we can see this white coming out of here running down the centre. Now, the white coming out is normally to do with interstitial condensation, which is internal sweating inside the roof. And that leads me to look at this and go, okay, well, why would we have that? Is there a ventilation problem on the roof? So I'm just going to flick through, say, all the photographs as I'm moving along. Now, this is a lovely top view to give me an idea of the ventilation. So we can see there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 vents up there, there's 2 vents at the back, but I can immediately see that there's a dormer window, or a window, it's not dormer, it's not sticking out, there's a window at the back there, and I know, because I've been inside anyhow before this, that there is a living area inside. There's a living area inside. This roof is completely not vented correctly. Okay, so there should be an awful lot of venting, and I'll point that out as I move around the rest of the photographs on there. I think we need to be going the other direction. So I'm moving around at different levels. I'm looking up underneath here. I'm looking for ventilation. There's no ventilation underneath here. I've looked at the roof. We know we've got the ventilation at the top. There's no ventilation. So I'm going all the way around the roof, having a good look at what's going on, all elevations all the way around. This is the property at the side. Let's just move on from that one, because that was going to be part of the survey. Okay, we're back on this one here. So again, we're looking at this. We're looking at the windows. This flat roof, I can give you an idea of the age of it. Again, not vented properly. Flashings across here are poorly done. Windows are too low. They've squashed this in basically to get the best head heights and things like that inside, best amount of glass area inside. But you know, realistically, this is going to be a potential problem of water being blown back up the roof here. This is why we have 150mm upstand at these particular points. So all of these things would be part of what I would be reporting. Of course, any good drone pilot is going to be able to show you a chimney stack, which of course, as you can see here, we got green growth indicating that there's water getting into the brickwork, indicating that there's a problem with the pointing ceiling of the brickwork. Note that there's no ventilation here. There should be some kind of ventilation on this roof. It's been sealed off on the top, but you should always have ventilation on the top. All of these things would come in as part of the report. Of course, I haven't even mentioned the slates and the condition of them. When we look at the condition of these slates, one missing down here, few broken here, over here, and it's really strange when you look at this. Oh, look at that, there's a brick which is fallen out of there. So we've got what we call spalding bricks in the walls because they're falling apart. That happens when the damp gets in and then they freeze during the winter, blowing the face off the bricks. Now, interesting, when we go back to the slates and we start looking at the new lead work, I say a lot of work's been done on it. So you start to think to yourself, okay, can we salvage this roof? Does the roof actually need to be replaced, taking all that lead work's done? But to me, looking at all the ventilation and the amount of work that we have to do to get over the top of this roof, we really need to address the ventilation. And getting up there and addressing the ventilation is going to cause a problem with the with access over the top of this and more broken slates. So at the moment, I really haven't got an opinion of where I would go with this. Again, we're looking at chimney stacks. These ones have been vented not very well at the top there. But again, I mean, although they're not that bad, if you're going to get up there and do a lot of work on this roof, they really need to be maintained. So it's all a matter of where the customer is actually going. And that's the kind of information that I would put in a report on something like this. Now, this chimney stack, you can see it's got a split down there, etc. It's starting to come. It's not bad at all, but it's got a few problems and really does need a little bit more maintenance. And it's actually being rebuilt on the top. There are different bricks on the top than the original bricks all the way around. So a newish felt roof on the top, but again, no ventilation on that whatsoever. So this is the kind of information that we get. Again, bricks, spalding bricks just there on that chimney. An old roof here looks like it's been painted over with a liquid product at that particular point. So again, that pretty much sums up the outside quickly without going into too much detail. So here I've just moved on to the inside, and the inside has been gutted out. Now this is where we get to reporting about, okay, well, what was going on? Because if you look at the way this insulation's been fitted in here poorly, that looks like this is where a vent would have been, but that vent would not have been venting this one because of the way the plasterboard, or looking at this lather plaster, would have been over the top of all of this. So the venting would have been extremely poor into this, and they've only tried to insulate this top area. It doesn't look like there's any insulation that was at the lower level going around inside there. And we can also see evidence of a lot of water penetration and rotted wood going on. This is me using my moisture meter and taking readings of it. Now, because when I did this, it was relatively in the summer, you can see by the moisture level there, we have an indication on this being in the green, which is in the dry, which it just says that these are very, very good meters, these are. So realistically, everything is quite dry. So we call it historic damage probably that has gone on inside, or it's been allowed to dry out. So let's have a look what's going on there. Let's turn the volume off on that. So not a lot really telling me there, but just going around inside I was able to have a good look in and see that the ventilation wasn't particularly done that well from the inside. And you can see the amount of detail that has to go into one of these. All of this is going to be reported in a written report showing the kind of thing, and I will be given recommendations of where I would go. Now, taking that I had actually talked to, I did this report actually probably a year ago, but taking that I did the report, I know that the conclusion I came to, and it's a complete and utter no-brainer, that you need a new roof. With the amount of work which was going on this particular property, let's just move forward, get to something more interesting. In fact, let's probably go back down here and look at the roof. Yeah, with the amount of work that was going on this particular property, a complete and utter no-brainer, a complete new roof, because theoretically the new thermal regulations that would need to be performed on this roof, and to do so, if you're going to carry on using the loft room inside, it has to be vented and insulated to the new Part L building regulations. And to do so, it would have been far easier and cheaper to strip the roof completely, put a new warm roof on the top, and turn all these elevations into probably what we'd call warm roof elevations as well. That would help stop having to put ventilation in and give a much better thermal performance. Now, there would have been other choices to do perhaps a warm roof up there and turn these into insulated cold elevations, but whatever way you do it, you'd still have to strip the roofs. So that's the kind of detail that I would have gone into with the report. Basic, depending on what you want from a report, depends on the information that I will give you. This was a basic report of, would I keep the roof or wouldn't I, and where would you go? And what I'll do now is I'll just show you a quick brief summary of what the report was. This is brief. This was not a full detailed survey on this, because they really just wanted to know whether or not my opinion was it should be stripped. So obviously going through and just showing them what I saw on the inside, pinpointing different areas in the report, arrows to the different defects that they got to sort out inside it, showing them that I'd taken moisture readings inside, then coming to the conclusion at the bottom here of what to do, showing them the different elevations and the different scenarios on the outside all the way around, showing them the defects on the slates on the outside, and what the problem would be if they left it as it was. Again, detailing the different areas going on just there. Again, detailing what I talked about in the video approximately on the back bit there and on that one there, where you deal with that, how you deal with that roof, the different scenarios with the chimneys as we go through it, the cracks on that particular chimney as we go through it, understanding the condensation in the lead which is there, and then I move on to the other roof which was around the back there. But generally that gives you an idea of the kind of things that we see when we're doing reports using a drone. Hopefully this is helpful. If you need any more information, please get back to me.